Alrighty, so to answer your questions, how do I know Amber? Amber is my youngest sister. I'm her oldest brother. So, let's see. Where were you when you knew her? I first met her when she was born in Atlanta, May 16th, 1993. We lived in Kenya. We moved to Kenya in '97, so I knew her the entire time then. We moved to Moscow, Idaho in 2003, and then when I graduated high school in 2006, she and the rest of my family moved to Dakar until she graduated high school and then moved to Nashville, and I continue to know her now. I'm currently living in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, attending the Special Forces qualification course. My wife and kids are in Seattle right now. What is my Myers-Briggs personality test? I am an ISTJ. If I had to describe Amber in one word, it would be incomparable. Amber is a very unique person, very herself. It's Amber. If amber was a color, what would it be? I would say yellow. I think that was her favorite color when she was little. When she was a kid. It's bright and shiny, full of youthful dreams about life. It's not been dulled by the reality of the world we live in yet. I have known Amber her whole life, so 20 years, give or take. My first impression of Amber, I can remember when we brought her home from the hospital. The very first thing I remember is how big her eyes were. She had huge blue, very, very big blue eyes. That's the first thing I can remember about Amber. How would I describe Amber? She's incomparable. Amber always has and always will march to the beat of her own drum. Regardless, she just does her own thing. Oh, what is something Amber would do? Amber would befriend the black sheep of the group, against, for no personal gain, against any peer pressure, social pressure to not do so. Amber would befriend that person. Just because she's a loving and caring person. What is something Amber would never do? Amber would never denounce her faith in God, regardless of risk to life. She would never denounce her faith. What is the biggest growth you have seen? Well, Amber has become a very, very smart person, very determined. She's a very smart, determined young lady. She completed her several CLEP tests and college level courses, even in high school, so she'd graduate quicker. I think that shows a lot of fortitude. Just a very determined, smart young lady. What has stayed the same? Like I said, Amber is still very much her own person, regardless of what is going around her in the world. She doesn't bend to social pressure. Just very, like I said, she marches to the beat of her own drum. She stands by her beliefs, regardless of what other people may think of her or think of her beliefs. She'll listen to others' advice, but she'll always do what she believes is right. Is she like her family? Yeah. I would say, in regards to me, and the rest of her siblings. Amber is sometimes stubborn and hard-headed like myself. Like her older sister Heather, she's kind of an airhead sometimes. Like her little brother Jonathan, she is, say, very, how do you put it, say, zealous in her pursuit of life, and in her pursuit to further her relationship with God. In regards to our parents, I'd say that she's a little bit like both. She gets a little bit she gets the good and the bad from both of them. Like our dad is very determined, very purpose driven. I think Amber personifies that. Like our mother, she's very smart, very intelligent young lady. So I have a funny story involving her. Yes, the first one that comes to mind. We had just moved to Kenya. It was '97. Amber was 3 years old at the time. We had moved into, they called it the governor's mansion. However, it was a rumshuckle old attic converted into a house and just run down. I remember walking into the bathroom, and Amber was sitting in the bathtub with no water, only a bathing suit on, with a huge 3-gallon chocolate ice cream jug tub sitting in her lap, with a huge, ridiculous sized serving spoon, chocolate smeared all over her face. I remember my dad walked in with the huge video camera, and asked her what she was doing, and she couldn't believe that he thought that it was weird that Amber was sitting in the bathtub with chocolate ice cream all over her face. She almost pretended like he wasn't even there. Just to Amber, that was, I don't know. To Amber, it required no explanation as to why she was in there with this huge tub of ice cream and in her bathing suit, but it was a good memory. It was funny. You had to be there, really. How would Amber impact my life, or how did Amber impact my life? She, like I said, she's my youngest sister. With each sibling, as an older brother, you feel the need to protect, try and shield her from the world. And as Amber got older, I realized I could not protect her as much. The older she gets, the farther away she moves. I'm gonna have to, let her go. She's gonna grow up on her own, and she's gonna make her own life choices, whether those are good or bad, and she'll learn from them in the end, hopefully. And I guess it helped me learn with my own kids that you can only do so much, and then the little chick has to fly the coop eventually and strike out on their own. Amber's work ethic, like I said before, she did CLEP tests and college credits in high school, so obviously that shows that she has a strong work ethic. I know that she works at the Nashville Zoo as a cashier during the summer to, as a job, to raise money. And from what I've heard from our parents, Amber will graduate college with either no debt or very close to no debt, which these days is it's a feat on its own. So that just shows Amber's drive, that she obviously has somehow procured the funds through scholarships or working part-time to graduate with little or no debt, and she'll graduate early. She won't graduate. It won't take her 4 years to graduate, from what I hear. So Amber's got a great work ethic. The reason I think that she has that work ethic, I think it's growing up overseas. You see a lot of poverty. As a young kid, you're cultured in a way that people 4 times your age are not cultured. You grow up around people who have nothing and everything at the same time. They may not have any tangible assets, but they know that you have to work. You have to work for what you want. So, growing up overseas, you really have to work for it. It's not just given to you anymore. I think a lot of kids these days here in the U.S. Believe that things should just come to them. They don't have to work as hard. So I think that's why Amber has such a hard work ethic, and that's no. I would say that my parents definitely influenced that. Both my parents work way too hard. They work really hard, but they get the job done. So I think Amber kind of realizes that. Where would Amber be at a party? I wouldn't say that she'd be in the center, not the center of attention, but she'd be with her friends, having a good time. You know, probably singing some crazy musical that she performed overseas and at school, or quoting Disney lines, Disney character lines for sure. And the reason I think that is Amber is our whole family. We grew up, like I said, overseas, and we didn't have TV. All we had were movies. And as a kid, all you have are Disney movies. So constantly watching and rewatching again all these Disney movies. So all we do as a family when we get together, someone will say one word and it'll remind us of a quote or a line from a Disney movie, and it'll just, our whole conversation will just be Disney movie lines, which is it's unique. It's unique to our family. It's kind of funny. But like I said, Amber's a very smart, determined young lady, and I'm very proud of her for how far she's come. And just hopefully that everything works out for the best. Hopefully she graduates soon. It'll be a great accomplishment, and I know that she can accomplish a lot as long as she keeps working at it. But anyway, love you, sis. Hope this helps. Bye.